Okay, I'm running behind today. What we got? Can y'all hear me? Is my sound going? Okay. Okay. So, okay. Sorry, everybody. Uh, yeah, I was a little late getting here, so my apologies. I'm running behind. So what do we got? Let me see. I saw Jeanette, Marilyn, Stephen. Is Ryan here? Have we seen Ryan? I know Miss Elizabeth's lurking around somewhere, peeking around the corner. So, all right, all right. So today's show is going to be kind of short because what is showing up in the corner of my coffee cup? Can y'all hear me? Is my sound on? Do I need to turn it up? Am I quiet? Do my sound good? Sound bad? Ryan's not here yet. Ryan. Yes, can hear you fine. Okay, cool. Sound is fine. Thank you, Jeanette and Marilyn. So hello to the Rosie Army. Sorry, I am all out of sorts today. It's been kind of a madhouse, but today's going to be a short episode because I think my camera needs to go more that way. There we go. What the biggest reason being because even though she is sitting calmly now, my coffee cup. Even though she is, hell's okay, close enough. Even though she, by all appearances, is sitting calmly right now, she is extremely, let me say extremely ticked off. Reason being, y'all are gonna love this. She's of course had, been clawing at her ear pretty bad the last couple of days, to the point that I'm about ready to put a cone on her for a day or two and let her give her ears a rest. But in addition to her cutting herself with her back feet, because you remember, number one, I'm not allowed to clip her claws, and number two, I'm not allowed to touch her back feet. Today, that rule had to be broken, because not only the last couple of days has she really been going after her ears with her back feet, but last night, of course, she has to sleep right up against me, between her clawing her ears in her sleep. She also tossed and turned. She stabbed me in the arms, or well, mostly my left arm, stabbed me in the arm with her back claws, stabbed me in the side, stabbed me in the neck. She stabbed me. I mean, it looked like a homicide scene. She was stabbing me. I mean, it looked like something out of a prison brawl. I mean, it was bad. So I told her, I guess about 5 o'clock this morning, 6 o'clock this morning, when I was moving her for the 38th time, I was like, you're getting your claws, your back feet filed today, whether you like it or not. She didn't like it, but I did manage to get her back claws filed enough so that they're, at least for now, kind of rounded and they're not daggers, because her back claws, not only are they sharp, but they're long and they're hard. They're stiff. I mean, they're not little flimsy. I mean, they're bad. She went off. She did not like that at all. I tried to give her some treats. I did give her some treats. She did calm down while she was eating the treats, and then she would go back to being a little psycho, actually. And then of course, I cleaned her ears out also. But then after all that was done, then I tried to, calm her down, pet her, love on her, all this stuff. What I got in return was she flipped over on her back, ears not completely flat, but ears, a little bit past airplane ears. Did that long drawn meow and did this. She was pissed. So I've been trying to not mess with, and that was just like, I don't know, maybe an hour ago. So I've been trying to kind of leave her alone, because she was ready to hurt. I mean, she was ready. What she normally does to me, what y'all see, getting cut and all this stuff, because, we're playing rough and she gets a little excited and all this stuff. No, she was wanting to do that much and worse with bad intentions. Yes. Scott means business. Yeah, well, I meant business up until I didn't need to anymore. Then I didn't even try. I didn't even try to touch her, because I'm like, yeah, okay. Because she was hot. Because like I said, she hates to have her back feet touched. And of course, since I can't clip them, it's not that I'm just touching them. I mean, it took like 20 minutes, 25 minutes of me holding her back feet. She, whoo. It put this way, it was bad enough that I was actually considering, maybe you need to sleep in the other room tonight. She may try to kill me. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. All baby? Is that all baby for her? Ryan, she tried to kill me. Just saying. And I got the farmer hat. Yep, that's the word. They're called razor blades for a reason. Yeah, no kidding. Yep, that's what. And she looks so innocent. Don't let looks fool you, Marilyn. No. If y'all saw the Rosie that I was dealing with an hour ago, you'd be canceling your subscription to the channel. You'd be like, oh no, I'm a little traumatized by that cat. Does she hiss much? Yeah, at me when I do. Well, yeah, she does. She'll hiss at me. I mean, of course, there's no other cats, there's no dogs, there's no other animals here, so I'm the only person to get angry at. When I was married and we were doing cat rescues and there was a bunch of cats in the house, and oh yeah, she doesn't like other animals, so yeah, she would hiss at them all day long. But no, though, I mean, she'll hiss at me when she reaches a certain point with me. She'll hiss at me, and she was, I think she was actually beyond that point earlier today. I'm actually. She looks like she's calmed down, but I know my cat. I'm actually a little. I'm actually a little nervous to try to pet her right now. Normally she needs a nap and 3 or 4 hours to settle down. And I'm not going to give her treats today because I think I gave her 6 or 7 treats while I was doing her back feet, and so I usually don't like to give her more than about 5 a day. Are you gonna let me pet you, or are you gonna hurt me? She's got this look on her face like, why don't you try and find out? Yeah. Okay, we seem to be better. So yeah, the last couple of days she's been destroying her ears. And when I cleaned them out yesterday or 2 days ago. And I got a fair amount of wax out of them. Then today, when I cleaned them out, I didn't I didn't get as much wax, but I got some blood out, and you could tell it wasn't, like it was blood from where she had cut herself, because you could actually, if I looked down in there, I could actually see the scratches. But yeah, she has had a rough day on account of me, but still, rough day nonetheless. So, yeah, I didn't even get everything set up before I started the show. I didn't have the I didn't have the mic. I didn't have the mic lowered into place. Didn't have the board turned on. Didn't have nothing. Okay. So yeah, I apologize. I didn't get the upcoming notification going. None of that. It was just run around, run around, run around, and got my got my OBS open, my OBS studio, got YouTube open, hit record or hit start streaming, and there I was. Maryland, is that a golf cap, Ryan? I don't know. I just call it a farmer's hat. Yeah, I don't. I call Interestingly, Ryan will appreciate this. I've I've got several vests that I wear, uh, and like suit vests. You know, I'll wear like a dress shirt with just a vest over it. And I was at a function at a friend's house, and I was wearing, you know, just a button down, just a dress shirt and a vest, uh, and there's one gentleman there that's from he's a mutual friend of ours. He's from, I want to say Scotland. So and you know, so he's from over there, you know, Europe, UK, Scotland. Uh, but he saw it and he said, "Oh, that's a very nice waistcoat." I had never heard waistcoat. I was like, "What?" And I was like, what a waistcoat?" I said, "Is that what a vest is called over there?" And he said, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." And I actually like that term better, so I have since started calling it a waistcoat. So yeah. Oh, Marilyn's asking about her about Jeanette's elbow. Yeah, how's your elbow, Jeanette? Give us the update. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for my. Yes, thank you, Marilyn. I'm in a cast until the 19th of next month. It's fine. Okay, Jeanette. Let me let me explain something to you. When you say I'm in a cast until the 19th of next month, me personally, I wouldn't follow that up with it's fine. I'm sorry, I'm just playing, but you know, to me, if it's fine, I wouldn't need to be in a cast till the 19th of next month. Just saying. Just saying. That's just my opinion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a long time. Yeah. So what was the final outcome, Jeanette? Was it how was it broken, or how bad was it broken, or you know did uh, the other hospital, you know, what did they? I mean, how bad did the first hospital drop the ball by just saying, "Oh yeah, you know, come back and see us when there's a doctor here"? But at least it's pink. That's awesome. Better than black or blue. Yeah. Fractured elbow, no surgery needed. Jeez. Well, here, I am figuratively signing your cast. There we go. Oh, there. Rosie signed it too. Oh, it's black and blue, but you know it really doesn't hurt. Okay. Tenfold. We'll go with that, Jeanette. You're welcome. Let me adjust this down just a little bit. There we go. Jeanette has a fractured elbow. Just in case you were wondering why she wearing a cast that you're signing. I'm tough, at least I like to think I am. Well, I mean, you know, if you were walking around for what, a week with a fractured elbow, while you were waiting on a doctor to show up to work or something, whatever, yeah, I think you qualify as tough. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think I agree with you on that one. Yeah, see, Ryan agrees as well, and Marilyn. See, there it's a resounding yes, Marilyn. So, well, good. Well, I'm glad you at least got it looked at. Absolutely, yes, you are correct, Scott. Exactly what the doctor said. Yeah, that's yeah. So we all, yeah, everybody, with Ryan, Jeanette, Stephen, it was everybody was we were all scratching our heads, going, what? How? What? So yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. But at least you got it taken care of. At least now you know, number one, what's wrong with it, and you got a cast on it, and they took steps to start the healing. Because I mean, it either wasn't going to heal while you were out of a cast and still moving, or it wasn't going to heal properly, which was going to make it even worse forever. I know that what I'm about to say is a horrible story, but it's true. I know a guy that is really tough in that sense. He doesn't like to go to doctors. He thinks they're a waste of time. All this stuff, and he's kind of the mind, just suck up the pain kind of thing. Well, unfortunately, he also projects that same thought process on everybody else, including years ago his 16-year-old daughter. His 16-year-old daughter came in one day and said that she had fallen, or she did say that she had hurt her arm and she thought it was broken, and he was like, it ain't broke, you'll be fine, go put some ice on it, kind of thing. And this went on for a couple of weeks, that she kept saying her arm hurt and all this stuff, and he's like, you'll be all right, toughen up, kind of thing. He finally gave in, took her to the doctor, and yes, her arm in fact had been broken, and it was healing back, but the bones were not aligned properly, because it had not been set. But since the bones were in contact with each other, they started growing back together. Bottom line is, they had to re-break her arm in the doctor's office so they could reset it properly. Rosie is so chill, yeah. Yeah, y'all didn't see her an hour or so ago. She wasn't so chill. Don't even know what an orthopedic surgeon is. Here you see a general doctor first. Oh Jesus. That that is scary. Well, I mean, here you go to like having an orthopedic surgeon is a bone doctor, so they're going to do surgery on you. If you have a hip replacement or something like that, that's going to be an orthopedic surgeon. But yeah, you go to if your hip hurts, you're going to go to the doctor and say, hey, why does my hip hurt? And they're going to go, oh well, you need to go see an orthopedist, and then you go see an orthopedist right then. And then the orthopedist takes it from there. But no, you don't go. Wow. I mean, I guess they don't even have orthopedic surgeons in the UK. Jesus, that's scary. Yeah. Yep, Maryland. That was there was me and a couple other buddies. We lit into him. I won't say on this nice, sweet cat channel what all we said to him. It was not friendly. I had my shoulder dislocated when I was 10, so it really isn't my first rodeo. It sounds like you were the same kind of 10-year-old I was. Back then, it was just rub some dirt on it and go about your business. Did she get pain meds when they rebroke her arm? I would imagine so. I mean, we didn't get that in the that deep in the story, because particularly as a bunch of guys, a bunch of dads, and him relaying that story to us. He goes, in a group of us when, you know, we're all just talking, and, you know, as conversation shifts to injuries and stuff like that, then he was like, oh, well, you know, I got a story, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, when we heard that, then it, you know, we didn't really delve too deeply into it. It was bad words, might have been some threats to do bad things to him for letting his daughter have to go through that, and there may have been, you know, he may have been told to, you know, get the F away from a couple of us before we did things that we shouldn't have done. We were ticked. We were ticked. We were ready to let him know how displeased we were with what he had done years prior. I promise you, by the time it was over with, he regretted telling us the story. Yeah, you don't get a bunch of dads together hanging out, a bunch of dads that are willing to either go to our grave or go to prison for our kids, and then tell us that you let your 16-year-old daughter walk around with a broken arm because you were too stubborn to take her to the doctor. Yeah, that didn't go too well. Well, took it 2 emergency room visits to get someone's attention. It's really sad. It is. That is horrible, Jeanette. I am so sorry you had to go through that. That is horrible. You know, so my husband is the same. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking telling us that story. It's like, dude, read the room. You know, did you think this was going to end well for you? Did you think that we were going to get a big chuckle out of it? But yeah, that's that. Again, I don't know. That's why I was asking you last week if it was one of these just you know, what do they call them, a doc in the box, or one of these urgent care centers where it's just like a little standalone building that's not attached to a hospital or anything, or if it was an actual emergency room. And you said it was an actual emergency room, and I was like, oh my God, what'd you do? Go to Hell's Pass Hospital? You know, I would be putting that hospital on the top of my list of never go there again. I was actually talking to a friend of mine, I think it was yesterday, and the small town that she lives in, she said that the hospital in their town, she said, there's no way I would ever go to that hospital. She will drive like 60 miles to the nearest big city and go to a hospital there. She's like, where we live, she's like, ain't no way in hell I'm going to this hospital. I mean, I remember when I first moved here to Houston, and I was building the business up, and I went and got a couple of regular jobs. One of the jobs was delivering medical supplies, and one of the hospitals on my route, I was shocked, and this is in Houston. I was shocked at the condition of the hospital, because I mean it was like something you would see out of a horror movie. And this was a huge main hospital here in Houston, Texas. I mean, it was just like the old 60s green paint, like chipping off the walls in the hallways, and I mean, it sort of conjured up like, you know, the over dramatized version of like an insane asylum in a horror movie. It was just like, you know, and this was I mean, I was delivering like beds and wound vacs to people. So I mean, this was back in 2010. So this was just 16 years ago. You know, I was like, what in the time warp have I gotten myself into? Well, they closed the one I went to, and it's been there forever, and it closed the first time I went about elbow, and I had to go to the new one they opened 4 miles down the road, and it's not any better. So see, so if you've got a an emergency room, an emergency care hospital, a hospital system that goes out of business, if I'm not mistaken, a hospital, even though it's got different rules and there's different subsidy programs and all that stuff, but if a hospital can't stay in business, you know, that's a pretty good sign right there. You know, it's like, but then to move down the road and it's still the same crappy service, isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? If you have horrible health care at a specific facility and word gets around that you are horrible, then people are going to quit going there. You're going to quit making money. You're not going to be able to pay the bills and keep the doors open. I mean, that's just, I don't, whatever. I don't know if you're aware of CHI Hospital. That's what I'm dealing with. Not a good look if it goes out of business. There you go. Exactly, Maryland. No, I'm not. What is that? CHI? Yeah, I'm not familiar with CHI Hospital. Out here in Houston, what is huge is the Memorial Hermann system. The Memorial Hermann Hospital system is, oh my God, it is massive. It's a Catholic hospital. Nothing against Catholic. I mean, it doesn't matter what. If the hospital was established by a specific religious organization, if they're horrible, they're horrible. No, Memorial Hermann is huge. I mean, just about everything out here is Memorial Hermann. They are massive. And it was funny when I was working for that medical supply company, coming from Alabama. Alabama has what's called a certificate of need board. So if you want to build a hospital, then you have to apply for and receive, or if you want to build a hospital, start a hospital, whatever the case may be, you have to apply for and receive what's called a certificate of need. So what the certificate of need board is, they look, if you want to, so you want to put a hospital here, then they will look and see if there's another hospital in the area that can provide service for that. If there is, then they'll say there is no need for a hospital here because this hospital can take care of that area. If there's not another hospital, then they'll issue the certificate of need, and so because now there is a need to have this hospital because nobody's taking care of these people around here. So you can't have a hospital, you know, across the street from another hospital in Alabama. That's not the way it works, or not the way it's supposed to work. Or the whole governor went to prison over that crap not long ago, but that's another story. When I came out here, there is no certificate of need board out here in Texas. Out here in Texas, you can have a hospital across the street from a hospital. You can have a hospital behind a hospital, in front of a hospital, next to a hospital. You can even have this. There was one of the hospitals on my route that I delivered to regularly, and then one day I got an oddball order to deliver to another hospital, but it had the same address. And I'm like, what? That hospital is not there. That hospital is, you know, this one, you know, one of the Memorial Hermanns. And so I made a call, and they said, no, that's our address. We're on the 9th floor. So the 9th floor of that particular Memorial Hermann hospital, Memorial Hermann leased out that floor to another hospital. So you had an entirely different hospital system that had nothing to do with the other one. One hospital system inside another one. Then the two had absolutely nothing to do with each other. They weren't a division of this one. They weren't a part of this one. They didn't share, you know, the systems. They didn't share doctors. They were completely separate, as if they were on different sides of the world. Yet one rented the ninth floor of the other one. I was like, what? How do you have a hospital inside a hospital? Hospital inception. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, whatever. Like I said, I come from a state. I'm originally from a state where you can't have one too close to each other, let alone inside. So weird. So yeah, it's just, it's like, I don't know why. I mean, you got this big, huge hospital system that this particular hospital is like, I don't know, 15 floors, 20 floors, something like that, and then one little tiny other hospital system tucked away on the ninth floor of that hospital. I'm like, what? So, Marilyn said Rosie has checked out. Oh yeah, yeah, she's knocked out. I'm gonna try to do kisses. We're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna give it a shot. I can't make any promises that I'll survive this, because I'm telling you, let me put it to you this way. She'll be 8 sometime this spring, ish. And I've seen her mad at dogs. I've seen her mad at cat. Like I said, back when I was married and we were doing cat rescues, I've seen her. I have never ever seen her as mad at me as she was earlier today. I'm telling you, she hates to have her back feet even touched. If we're playing and having a good time, and I'm, messing with her head, and I'm scratching her belly and all this stuff, she'll scream at me and she'll swipe, but she'll also be purring. She's having a good time. She likes to play rough. I can end it all by touching her back feet. That one, the purring stops, the eyes open, the ears go. She is like, nope, dude, you done crossed the line now. So let's give this a shot. Yeah, she knows. Oh God, I'm doing this for y'all. I love you. Good kisses. One for Ryan. One for Jeanette. One for Marilyn. One for Stephen. One for Miss Elizabeth working around. One for me. Yeah, she started twitching that tail on that last one. Does anyone have any experience with cats and arthritis? I have a 15-year-old with a limp that is taking a long time to get better. Huh. No, I don't. Ryan. Is anybody else got any advice for him? Yeah, the vet. And with regard to the vet, Ryan, I don't know if you've got a regular vet that you know, like, and trust, but I know in my experience going to vets, uh, there seem to be quite a few vets that I've experienced that are, particularly with a senior cat, one of their quickest go-tos is, maybe it's time to just, don't get a second opinion. As soon as I hear a vet start talking about, oh well, quality of life, and that's okay, then I'm scooping up my animal. Thank you very much. How much do I owe you for wasting my time? I have used vet approved. I think it's CPD oil. Okay, nice. Yes, and she has some painkillers and anti-inflammatory medicine, and it's gotten better. But when she runs, it's still there a bit. Yes, don't. I agree, Scott. Yeah. Like I said, when I was married, and we were doing cat rescues. Then like I've said before, we had several CHs, and my then wife ended up having to take one of the CHs to a vet, and this was a vet that was sort of partnering with a few rescues in the area. So this was not just a random vet that sees Fluffy and Rover. they're seeing quite a few, particularly rescue animals. And she didn't even know what CH was. My former wife had to explain to her what CH was, and her first go-to was the cat needs to be put down. And my wife was like, no. And scoop the cat up. Thank you. No, thank you. Also, when you get those per steps, so she does not have to jump up. Yeah. I'll take her back if it's still the same. I have insurance if she needs long-term. Oh, that's awesome. Bless it. 15 years old, you have been taking good care of her. Yep. Good job, Ryan. But yeah, I mean, best of luck to you. I know that when I had Cat, my orange tabby that passed away in 22, I think he was 13. But this was when he was younger that he started walking with a limp, and it didn't go away for a bit. And I took him to the vet, and he had a dislocated hip. And I asked the vet, okay, what do we do? Do we need to do surgery? Do we, have it set back? How are we going to, get it back in its place? And what she told me, and again, I don't know, I'd never heard this, but she said it was a thing. She said that a cat's hip will, if it like gets out of socket and doesn't go back in, that it will sort of, I guess it's not like a human hip. She said it'll sort of wear something of a new socket in the hip bone, and she said that he'll be fine, over time. And sure enough, I don't know if it ever went back in, but it took several months, but he did end up walking relatively, he ended up walking normally, but like you said, even all the way up until he passed away, if he got into if he decided to run, then his front feet would be running, but his back feet would be in almost a gallop, like a horse. So it would be a different type of motion. But again, he was younger. There wasn't any arthritis in play. He was maybe 2 when that happened. So, and he lived 13 years, and I mean the other 11 years he was just happy as a clam. He was actually kind of a jerk, but yeah, he didn't like other cats either, but he wasn't like standoffish about it. He would literally, I may have some videos. I think I have a video of doing it to Rosie, where he would just walk past her and just look at her and not even stop, just take one paw and just smack her in the head. I mean, it wouldn't be a matter of she had to do anything. Like her, if another cat gets close to her and like tries to investigate, sniff, something like that, then she'll hiss. But if you just walk past, she'll just look at you. But I'll see if I can find the video. But I have seen the video where he's just she's sitting down, and he's walking past and just looks at her and just smacks her. With her being CH, then just stiff as a board, she falls backwards. But yeah, he was a jerk. Yeah, good job, Brian. Good dad. Yeah, keep us posted. Let us know how your fur baby is doing. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna cut out. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. I got studying to catch up on. I got a lot of studying done this week. Thank God. So I'm not quite caught up to where I want to be at this point, considering the course expires the end of March. But yeah, I did get a good bit done this week, and I want to capitalize on that and keep the momentum going. So I got a lot of studying to do, and I think I got to go to the store. So So I'm gonna wrap up here. Jeanette, very good to hear that you got your elbow addressed, put in a cast, and that you're on the road to getting better. The Rosie Army is very pleased to hear that. Ryan, we wish you the best for your fur baby. We'll be praying for him, her, whatever. I don't know what it is. But yeah, keep us posted. Let us know. But yeah. Other than that, does anybody have anything before we wrap up? Anybody? Bueller. So sorry, I always throw that out there. I was born in '70. I'm Gen X. I was raised on '80s music and '80s movies, and I got to throw the Ferris Bueller reference out there. So that's all good. Ryan's gonna keep us posted. Here we go. She's out. So. All right. Well, I'm gonna cut out. I'm gonna leave it up for everybody to say their toodles to everybody. Leave it up for a few minutes, and we will reconvene next week. So I will holler at y'all later. Y'all have a lovely, safe, productive week. Have a good, safe, happy, productive rest of your weekend, which is about 9 hours and 10 minutes or so. But yeah, y'all have a good one. I will see y'all next week. You gonna say toodles doodle? You're not even gonna wake up, are you? Well, all right then. Y'all, everyone be safe. Yeah. Yep. All right. Y'all have a good weekend. Y'all have a good week. Myself and the doodle will see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one.